Story 26, Strangest Voyage in History, Genesis 8, 1-13. Borne up on the raging waters, the ark was swept for, warred by fierce tides and howling gales on the strangest voyage in history. Only a vessel of the strongest construction and finest workmanship could have withstood the stresses and strains of those first few days and nights when, with awful earthquakes, all the fountains of the great deep were broken up and the floodgates of heaven rained down their deadly deluge. There was nowhere for the ark to go, no harbour anywhere, for all the high hills that were under the whole heaven were covered, so it just drifted hither and yon, rolling and tossing this way and that as the terrific currents were going and returning. Rising to meet one giant comber, it would plunge down again into the trough of the waves, only to meet another towering whitecap rushing toward it. Again and again it must have been struck by huge walls of water that swept over it from stem to stern. Floating trees and logs must have been a constant peril. That it didn't capsize and sink is a miracle. Conditions inside were hard to endure, the violent movement, the lack of light and fresh air. Worst of all was the uncertainty, the endless wondering how it would all end. Big as the ark was, Noah and his family were the only passengers. There was room for hundreds more, but nobody else chose to come aboard. And now all those who had refused to come were drowned. Everybody, men and women, boys and girls. In all the wide world, no trace of life was left. The old world had completely disappeared beneath billions of tons of water. And all flesh died that moved upon the earth. Both man and cattle, and the creeping things, and the fowl of the heaven, and they were destroyed from the earth, and Noah only remained alive, and they that were with him in the ark. How God must have watched over the ark through this whole fearful experience. Did you ever stop to think how much it meant to him? All his hopes and plans for the world depended on that little handful of people inside it. Only through them could his promises be fulfilled. Only through somebody in that storm-tossed ship could the seed of the woman ever bruise the serpent's head. How Satan must have tried to sink the ark in the height of the tempest. Could he have done so, he would have succeeded in defeating God's purpose. But the ark did not sink. Miraculously, it rode out the storm. And God remembered Noah, and every living thing, and all the cattle that was with him in the ark. And the rain from heaven was restrained, and the ark rested upon the mountains of Ararat. Yet even after the ark had touched ground, there was still no land to be seen, only water, water everywhere. The cessation of movement, the increasing stillness, the fact that there were no more big waves hitting the sides, told Noah that the worst of the flood was over and that the water must be going down. And the waters decreased continually until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the first day of the month, were the tops of the mountains seen. What a day was that, and what a shout must have gone up from all 8 of them at the welcome sight. Land, land, they must have cried with the joy of those who have been long at sea. Now Noah opened the window of the ark and let out 2 birds, first a raven, then a dove. The raven flew happily to and fro. But the dove returned, and Noah decided to wait a week and see how far the water would go down by then. At the end of the week, he let the dove go again. This time it came back with an olive leaf in its beak. All were cheered at this, for it showed that not only were the waters still going down, but that there were still at least a few trees standing. Noah waited another week, and then sent the dove out once more. This time it did not return, and Noah felt sure there must now be much land free of water. So he removed the covering of the ark, and looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry. The rain had stopped, and the sun was breaking through the clouds. The flood was over, and the strangest voyage in history had come to an end in the strangest way you could imagine, with the Ark resting on a mountaintop in Asia Minor. End of story 26. Thanks for watching.